Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Berean TV. I recently started back doing various videos, dealing with the conscious community and Hebrew Israelites, just apologetics in general. And I opened up the computer, and in the comments section, I had about 246 comments that were held for review. A lot of people are disrespectful, but they just out of control. So certain comments, I tend to review them before if I want to release them, or I just delete them because of disrespect and the coon talk, the N word, and all of that. Some people are there; they're just out of control. But a brother said, "Berean, well, answer me this." He said, "If the people in the Bible didn't have a Bible, why are y'all walking around with a Bible?" And the thing that really shocked me is another brother that saw that comment. He said, "Oh man, that's a good one. I have to use that." Now it sounds good to somebody that don't know any better. The people in the Bible did not have a Bible, so why are you folk running around here with a Bible? I've done various videos on touching a little bit on the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Bible from 250 BCE. And a lot of this comes about because of the comments of Sarah Seti, because of the comments of Walter Williams saying that Judaism is an AD religion. They're trying to say that there wasn't no Bible around, and the white man gave us the Bible later on. Well, if you know anything about the history of the temple, recently President Trump was in the Wailing Wall, and he was there touching the wall, and he's supposed to be making prayers. But people the world over go to Jerusalem and they make prayers. If you know anything about the Wailing Wall and the history of Herod or Herod's temple, and even if you go back to Nehemiah and Ezra in the Bible, Ezra the 3rd chapter, you'll see that Cyrus the Great, who was Darius and Cyrus, who were Persian and Mede kings, that they actually allowed the Jews to go back and build the temple after it was destroyed from Nebuchadnezzar. So in BC, clearly there were holy scrolls in Israel, in the Middle East. The Septuagint is one. The Hebrew Bible was already around. The scriptures came down in a period of about 1500, 1600 years. And many people don't understand this. What we start talking about, the writings of Moses, or what they call a Pentateuch, that's the first 5 books of the Bible. And I don't really need anybody to give me the 4-source theory and comments or various books, or who Julius was and the 4-source theory and all of that stuff. Traditionally, we have attributed the first 5 books of the Bible to Moses. And that's been around for thousands of years. And when we see just when you do just a general reading of the Bible, constantly the Messiah said, "It is written. Have you not read? It is written." Let me give y'all a few scriptures. Matthew 4:4, Matthew 4:7, the 4th chapter of the Gospel of Luke, the later part of Luke, when he was walking with the disciples on the road to Emmaus, he said, "Oh, foolish and how slow of heart are you to believe in what the prophets have said concerning me." When the Messiah, when the Apostle Paul, when you see in the Bible that speaks about the law, the prophets, and the writings, those are the 39 books today that are in the King James Bible. It's broken up differently because 1st and 2nd Kings and 1st and 2nd Samuel, and the way it's broken in the Protestant Bible is different from the way that the Hebrews had it. But it's basically the same scriptures. And what confirms that is the 1947 find of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Qumran, that was found in Qumran in the caves. And that's still arguably one of the greatest finds in the 20th century. So when people start making statements like that, it sounds good, but you know nothing about Scripture. You know nothing about the transmission of Scripture. The mere fact that you can say that Scripture wasn't around, the mere fact that people would attempt to say that Judaism is an AD religion when there's a temple that's built over there in Jerusalem right now, and it was already under construction and expanded by Herod the Great. Y'all go just Google something on that. the truth is, a lot of people make statements and they really don't know what they're talking about in specific fields. If you went to school and you're a sociologist, that's good, but that don't mean you can speak heavy into the history of the Hebrew Israelites, because theology is not your thing. That's not what you write on. That's not what you teach on. That's not what you do. You're a sociologist. So a lot of people don't understand certain things, and we have a lot of pseudo scholars on YouTube and Facebook, and they make comments, and even less learned people would look at those comments and start repeating those comments. And this is a prime example. The brother heard that, man, the people in the Bible didn't have a Bible, so why y'all have Bibles? And the other brother picked it up. He said, man, I got to use that. And that's just how it is. Y'all got to check us out. We're going to start up some new classes in Sunday seminary. I've been getting a couple of comments. People said, well, you have to load up more videos and teach. We'll bring out the PowerPoint and the screen, but I think I'm going to speak to some of the students that we have in Sunday seminary and ask them if it's all right. We may release some of those 2-3 hour classes that we have, and where we discuss and share certain things. And it's just not me lecturing, it's other people, because we have seminary students. We have learned people that's been in the scriptures, and we discuss various things in the scripture. Classes, very good, very interesting. Sometimes they can be drawn out, but a lot of people have a lot to share, a lot to say, and we are definitely edified by it. The other thing was a sister. She said, well, Berean, you act like you were there. Every time you turn on the video, you're talking, you act like none of us were there back in the Bible days. I had some statistics somewhere, but y'all do know outside of the former Soviet Union, there are more people incarcerated in the United States of America than anywhere else on the planet. And the majority of people that are incarcerated, they don't go to trial, get indicted by the grand jury, and go to trial by 12 of their peers and get found guilty and blow trial and then get sentenced and go away. The majority of people in America that are in jail, they're in jail by their own confession. They confess. They waive their rights. We have Miranda versus the state of Arizona, 1966. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to attorney. Some of y'all know where I'm going with this. But a lot of people confess, and we have to understand why they confess. They confess because of the D's. Detectives make them confess. Now, how does this happen? Detectives go to witnesses, and detectives look at the evidence, what the crime scene specialist had to say at the crime scene. And looking at all the evidence, they pull things together. And when they pull things together, by the time they walk in that interrogation room, by them putting things together, they automatically can have a very, very good idea of what's going on. So when they confront the perp or the suspect, the person that's guilty of the murder or the burglary or whatever have you, they can give you the story so close to what actually happened, the person confesses. Yeah, I was there. Yes, I did have a gun. And then sometime they would get them to fill in small little things that detectives didn't understand. And basically, that's how we approach the scriptures. We approach the scriptures as detective. We're going with the best evidence that's around. Now, I could have wrote some other stuff down, but I had something, and it was basically, they said somebody was killed in the 1700 block of Main Street. There was a shooting last night, and they went on, and they were talking, and then they went on talking, and they were speaking about various things that were going on in the neighborhood. And then the man that was talking said, well, everybody out there, y'all be safe on your tour. So I asked some other people from what was read, be safe on your tour. There was a killing on the 1700 block. We have warrants out for this person and that person. What, from the evidence, what does that sound like? That don't sound like they're preparing for the funeral of Whitney Houston. That don't sound like they're preparing for halftime in the Super Bowl. From the evidence, it sounds like that could be roll call in the police department. Most likely, you have to go with the most likely thing according to the evidence that's there. That's how can we say it's a lot of pseudo-scholarship and madness in the conscious community. You can't say Judaism is an AD religion when we have so much evidence to the contrary. We have to go with evidence. A lot of times people say, when y'all down with the church, y'all just go by blind faith and this and that. And that's not always true. A lot of times you unbelievers, a lot of times you people in the conscious community, you say things by faith because Dr. Ben said it. Walter Martin said it. Walter Martin is a master teacher. But if one person is going against all of scholarship, I'm not saying it's impossible to happen, but if one person is going against all of scholarship on the history of Judaism, on the history of the Bible, even atheists agree, atheist scholars, even they agree that the temple existed, that Judaism existed way before Cleopatra and Mark Antony. So I don't understand what's going on. I just wanted to drop these 2 videos. I'll be doing some more stuff. We'll try to upload some stuff for the Sunday seminary. But if y'all like, y'all can get in touch with me at bereanteach.com, and we can explain to y'all how to register and get down with that Sunday seminary. But we're having some heavy classes, and it's time to study to show ourselves approved. Even if you're not a believer, at least know what you're talking about on when it comes to the Bible. I don't really follow the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, but I have hadith. I understand. I have a good understanding of Quran and Islamic traditions. And Mecca and Medina and the history of those places and the Prophet Muhammad and what it meant to those people that follow that. Jehovah's Witnesses approach me. I have a good idea about Joseph Smith and Charles Taze Russell and the Watchtower Society down here in Brooklyn. I have a good understanding about that. You can't speak on a subject unless you have a decent understanding, and we have too many people that are online that just seen 1 or 2 videos and consider themselves experts on the subject. You've been watching Berean TV. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Thanks for watching.